Another sign is a sign of rejection. The word persecution is used. When I look at our society today, I come up with the word rejection. It says, then they will deliver you up to tribulation and will kill you, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. At that time many will fall away and will betray one another and hate one another. We are living in a world that is at war with Christ and his followers. Jesus said it would happen, didn't he? You just read that? It happened shortly after his death and resurrection. The Apostle Paul, before his conversion, was out putting Christians in jail to be put to death. He thought it was a great thing to do. And after he was converted, there were many times that they tried to put him to death. In our world today, though, in the name of tolerance, Christians are being persecuted because they are intolerant. Isn't that strange? Because we are intolerant, because we believe what God's Word says, and we believe this is the foundation for our lives, and it was what transforms people's lives, we are intolerant. People prefer to live in sin than to change, and since they don't want to be called on for their sin, they prefer to silence a Christian in any way they can. You know, if we can just get rid of these Christians, we'll be okay, because we can keep on sinning. Our conscience will be fine without Christians telling us we're wrong. It's interesting, I was reading a city council out in California, I can't remember what city it was in, the ACLU come in and said, oh, you can't have prayer before your council meetings. And so they made a proposition, they aren't having prayer, at least not by the council itself. But a group of the council members before the meeting hold hands and they pray. Because they have the right to do that. Hollywood, our court system. Even our own president tries to take God out of how this country was founded. Christians are mocked, even lose their jobs because of their faith. Sarah Palin, because she's a strong Christian, has been mocked terribly. Tracy Morgan, a comedian, said some really horrible things on live television the other day about her. What he likes to do is look at her picture. In the Asian communist countries, Christians are arrested and sent to labor camps. In Muslim and Hindu countries, Christians are being put to death daily for their faith. If this isn't a sign of the tribulation that Jesus talked about, I don't know what is, but hold on, because it's going to get worse. It's over there. We don't think much about what's going on over there. But this tribulation is going to grow in this country as well. The next sign is a sign of lawlessness. Jesus said, because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end, he will be saved. We live in a society of laws where there are no laws. See, we have laws, but we have judges who say those laws don't mean anything, and so they change the law in our own state to be what they want it to be. Our society has degraded to the point that lawlessness is increasing all the time. What is right and good and true are now mocked and degraded. And because a few homosexuals, the laws are changed to allow gays to marry and to allow gays to only serve in the military. 3 months. In 3 months, our military men have got to go through in that 3-month period, they have to go through a re-education program on how they should allow gays to serve openly in the military. Pornography is rampant. And it is eating at the souls of even those within the church. Child pornography is being produced by our children, who take their cameras that are on their cell phones given to them by their parents, and their boyfriend says, hey, take a picture of yourself. And they take pictures of themselves naked and sext them called sexting, sex them to their boyfriends, who then put them out to all their friends, and then they get arrested for child pornography. Almost every week we hear of teachers having affairs with students. The second grade class. The teacher just got busted in the second grade class because she was allowing second grade kids to strip off their clothes and do things with each other that should never be seen. And the second graders should never even know about it. But you know, there are people in society who says, hey, if that's what they want to do, let them do it. Boo. Children have become desensitized to violence because of the violence they watch on television, through the video games or murder. They murder people and run over people and with cars and these innocent people on screens, but then it comes back to real life and they're desensitized to it, and it's easy to go over to the next level. We scratch our heads and wonder why kids go to school with a gun and start killing others, and we wonder why some kids go home and kill their parents. Often it's because the parents says, no, I'm not going to let you buy those clothes, they make you look trashy. Or no, you can't go out with that boy. And the girl will go out. One girl in particular I know about, read about, she went out and told her boyfriend, and he hired some friends, and they went and killed her parents. Near Los Angeles the other day, a man was crossing the street, was hit by a car. The driver kept going. Another car come along, run right over the guy, kept going. A lady come along, hit him, stopped the car to help him. Some other people come out to help. A man come along, didn't see the lady hit her, didn't kill her, but he stopped his car. And a bunch of other guys, thugs, come out and beat that guy up and robbed him and left. Love grows cold. In Mexico, thousands have died of bloodshed at the hands of drug kingpins, so that here in America we can get our fixes. Our drugs. Just a few days ago, in Mexico, a whole town's police force quit after their colleague was beheaded by drug kingpins. They have hit squads made up of children and teenagers. Because who's going to hurt children? If those children go and kill people. 3 days ago, an American missionary woman in Mexico, serving there 30 years. Her and her husband were 70 miles south of the border when they were attacked by bandits. They were in a drug-infested area. They'd been shot at before. They took off driving. They were trying to stop their vehicle. They took off driving. They were shot from behind. The woman was killed. And he made it to the border. It was too late. In the Middle East, in Africa, rioters are filling the streets. In Egypt, I mean, you've seen it. I can't help but see it on the news. In Egypt, the people out in the streets wanting to get rid of a dictator, but you got half the people who want to bring somebody in like Al-Qaeda, that kind of a leadership, the real extremists, and if they get control of Egypt, they can block the Suez Canal. And you know what the war's about again. Tunisia, Jordan, Egypt. These countries are ready to overthrow their leaders. Lawlessness. In Egypt, I was reading this morning, said that the police have pulled out now in Egypt, off the streets. And men running around with machetes and guns are robbing and beating people up. Lawlessness has increased. The last sign I want to talk about today is the sign of the gospel. Jesus said, the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Now, times have really changed, haven't they? I mean, I remember when we had telephones where you had to pick them up and get an operator to talk to someone. I remember when we had telephones where we'd pick them up and listen to everybody in the neighborhood talking, because we had the party lines, you had 5 or 6 other families on the same, you could hear all the neighborhood gossip. But when Jesus talked about this, the only way the word was spread was how? Walking over to that next person and telling him about Jesus. Walking to this person, telling him about Jesus. One by one. The only means of communication. But times have changed. Today, what you put on the internet can be seen by over 1 billion people in a matter of seconds. Whether it's news outlets or terrorists trying to recruit others, this medium has changed how the word is spread. And millions of people are hearing the gospel through the electronic medium. But there's even a better way. For decades, a phenomenon has been occurring among the Muslims. And I've talked about this a little before. And I was reading more about it. Both men and women are experiencing dreams and visions of Jesus Christ, even without the knowledge of the gospel or contact with other Christians. These reports of the supernatural occurrences often come in countries that are closed to the preaching of the gospel and where converting to Christianity can invoke a death sentence. But these people, these Muslim people who are having these dreams are so real, they're crying out in their dreams to God to reveal himself, and Jesus Christ reveals himself to them, and they are so transformed by that appearance of Christ that they start sharing Christ with others and begin becoming persecuted right away. Some even put to death. You and I have dreams, but these are more than just dreams. These are the fulfillment of the prophecy at the end times, what Joel said in Joel 2:28. In the last days, says God, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. What sets these apart are the intensity and the reality of the dreams to the point that they surrender their heart and life to follow Jesus Christ as a result of that dream. Jeremiah 29:13, Jeremiah said, writing the words of God, you will seek me and find me when you search for me with your whole heart. These people in Muslim countries are desperate for something different, and they're seeking God with their whole heart, and he reveals himself to them. The gospel is truly reaching all areas of the world like no other time in history. Jesus said, this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all the nations, and then the end will come. But at that hour, that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. But this we know, time is running out. Time is running out. The urgency that we need to share the gospel is just that. Time is running out, and there are many more that need to hear the gospel before it's too late. And if you don't know Christ today, you are living on borrowed time. Whether there's the rapture with the return of Christ, or your own death by somebody driving by. You don't know how much time you have left. But don't wait any longer.